I wanted to make some Roman candle holders that were going to be more permanent, so I chose to make these ones out of metal. And I settled on this design because I wanted the Roman candles to be relatively close together, so I can either hand light them relatively quick, or if I chose to fuse them together, it wouldn't waste so much fuse. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I made the smaller one, and then I'm going to test both of them out to see how well I like them. This is going to be for the smaller version. This pipe has a 3/4 inch inside diameter. First step, we're just going to cut a 10-inch long section of this pipe. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut 6 2-inch long sections of the same pipe. Alright, the chop saw I have gives just about the ugliest cut you can imagine. So I got a lot of cleanup to do on these little pieces. I'll probably do a little bit of filing on the inside, but most of the work's probably going to be done on my bench grinder. This 10-inch piece is by far the easiest one to do because I only had to clean up one really nasty cut, but I'm just going to essentially do the same process on those 6 smaller pieces. Alright, I got all the sharp edges cleaned up on all these pieces. Now I just got to go back in, clean them up the rest of the way so I can get them ready to weld them together. These pieces are all cleaned up. Because I am using the same material, 6 of these smaller pieces fit very comfortably around this larger piece. I'm going to go ahead and get this plate ready because that's what I'm going to have welding on the bottom here. I just marked and cut this template out pretty close to this top portion because I want the top and bottom to be relatively the same size. I'm going to find and mark the center of this circle so I can drill a 1-inch hole and then weld it to this pipe here. And I want to do that before I cut out the circle, just so I have a little bit more material to hang on to. Not really much to it, just got to finish getting this hole to 1 inch in diameter. Not the greatest drilling setup, but sometimes you got to work with what you have. I'm going to go ahead and tack these pieces together now, just using a real simple hose clamp to hold them together so they don't move on me. I feel like it works pretty good. Got these 3 magnets on here to hopefully hold this bottom piece pretty flat so we can weld right there. Here are these bottom plates. I only welded on this bottom portion. I didn't weld any of this top part. For the posts that these are going to fit on, this is just 3/4 inch rebar. This is a 5-foot long section of it. And the pieces that I already made are just going to sleeve over this end here, and I'm going to weld a little stop right there. For the stop, I'm going to use these washers. This is what I started out with originally. I just had to drill it out a little bit so it would fit over here better. For this end here, I've got it marked about 1 inch up because I'm going to grind it down so it goes in the ground a little bit easier. Got this stop welded on there. Turned out nice. Now whichever one you want to use, you just have to slide it over this top part. The smaller one doesn't really have much play to it. But this larger one does have quite a bit of play to it. It's not going to be moving, so I think it should be fine. Okay, to test these out for the smaller one, I'm just going to be using 6 miscellaneous Roman candles. I'm using Hot Shot, Purple Dragon, 10-ball long rifle, Wolfpack Crackling, Magical Roman candle, and a High Performance. For this larger version, I'm just going to be using Blackjack Roman candles. I wish I had 6, but I only have 5, so we're just going to do 5. If I end up liking these designs, I will make one slightly larger than this, because while it does fit these Blackjack Roman candles, it will not fit any of these. And I want to have an option for these as well. I did end up liking those other two, so I went ahead and made this larger version. With this one, to test it out, we're just going to use some miscellaneous Roman candles. You've got Neon Green Venomous, Neon Yellow Venomous, Strobing Comet Candle, Marines Candle, got Crazy Hearts, and Crazy Clubs. I'm actually really happy with how these turned out. They're gonna last me a long time. All they need now is like a coat of fresh paint and they'll be done. The only part of this build that I regret is this larger version. If I could go back in time, I probably would have bought a little bit smaller of a pipe. This is 1.25 inch inside diameter. I probably would have went with something like 1 1/8 inch if they even had that. Just for the sole fact that these larger ones, even though that they are larger, they are still a little bit sloppy. So I think the 1 1/8 inch would have been a lot better fit.